Hey folks, this is Rhykker, bringing you a report on a Season 4 exploit that made it to live and effectively allows you to equip every single passive ability on your character. This exploit revolves around the Hellfire amulet, and this is how it's done. Strip your character naked and equip only a Hellfire amulet. Then go die. Die repeatedly until your gear is broken and red. At that point, unequip the Hellfire amulet, and you will still have the Hellfire's passive ability equipped on your character. Then you can take a different Hellfire amulet with a different passive, and repeat until you have every single passive equipped on your character. Now I will note that this has been patched. If you just wanted to know what the exploit was and how to do it, then tune out now, because the rest of this video will discuss the implications and effects of this exploit. I was talking to pro Demon Hunter player Wudijo, whose stream you can find in a link in the description below, and he was saying that it's fairly easy to spot who is using this exploit. You see, when you inspect a character on the leaderboard, you can see what passive abilities they have equipped. There's 4 slots for 4 passives, and if you take a look at their Hellfire amulet, you can see what 5th passive they are using. But here's the thing, when you have additional passives equipped, the game gets confused, and it's not sure which passives to show in those 4 circular slots. So it just randomly selects from all the passives that you have, including the ones that you would have through the Hellfire glitch. So typically when you look at the leaderboards, you see a lot of similar builds, and especially pro players would be able to recognize which passives are suboptimal or even useless to a particular build. That means that if you inspect someone, for instance, we're inspecting this Demon Hunter, which is currently #1 on the North American leaderboards, we see something suspicious. We see that he's equipped Tactical Advantage. Now, we can't be 100% certain that this character was using the exploit, because he does have some of the passives that you would expect, but again, Tactical Advantage is just a slight movement bonus, and no top player in their right mind would take that over, say, a 10% damage increase. In some other cases, specifically with barbarians, you're able to find some that clearly had passives that were not benefiting them at all, and they were still topping the leaderboards. In that case, those guys were basically giving themselves away. But one more clever and nefarious use that could go completely unnoticed would be to equip only 1 additional passive. You see, every endgame build has 5 passives. 1 on your Hellfire, 4 on your skill sheet. And the top players mostly know what to expect here. So rather than collect every single passive, just use what are considered to be the 5 best passives, and then instead of equipping a Hellfire amulet, equip a different amulet. Something like an immunity amulet, or even a flavor of time to gain that additional stat. This would be virtually undetectable. And that's why it's a little concerning whether or not these individuals could possibly be wiped from the leaderboards. At the time that this exploit first became public and widely known, which was Wednesday the 9th, Wudijo did not believe that the exploit had spread very far onto the leaderboards. Now, as far as exploits go, this one is probably the least damaging of the exploits that we've seen so far from past seasons. Exploits that involve blood shards or XP result in permanent gains. Unless your account gets rolled back, then you permanently gain from having exploited. In this case here, this is basically just a temporary buff to your character. And in order to get every single passive, you have to go through a very painstaking process and farm up a lot of Hellfire amulets, which at the time that this exploit went public, Wudijo did not believe was something that a lot of seasoned players had really done. That said, Wudijo was concerned about the situation spiraling out of control as this became public. He saw his position on the leaderboards usurped by someone that he suspected of exploiting. But again though, this exploit amounts to a temporary power boost. Now that the exploit has been resolved, the only real advantage that those who exploit it would have is their snapshotted leaderboard ranking, as well as being more powerful and thus more efficient while they were exploiting, and consequently able to get XP and items a little faster. Still, I feel that pales in comparison to the blood shard and XP exploits that we've seen previously, and that the extent of the damage done by this exploit is left mostly to those most hardcore players. We're talking about the streamers, we're talking about the people really trying to push for rank 1 or even among the top 10 on the leaderboards. Without a doubt for them, it sucks, it's terrible, it's super shitty to invest over 5 hours a day into this game and have people who are cheating do better than you. But I would not call Season 4 ruined because of this exploit, because there's still plenty of time for everyone else now to catch up to those positions on the leaderboard and surpass them. And again, it basically just amounts to a temporary increase in power that has now been taken away. That wraps up this video. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment letting me know how bad you think this exploit was. Check out these other videos, and if you enjoyed this one, share it with friends, leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders.